Who needs a fucking telephone booth?
I don't. Telephone booths are for the weak. I'll take a police box that can travel through space and time.
I think we all would.
I think everybody would.
You.
Except for you. And you. You.
Yeah.
Maybe you. Anyway.
Cat.
I see that guy behind you. Put your pants on.
What would your mother say?
Anyway, we come out of Battle for the Cowl.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God.
Right.
And we come into there's a whole shakeup of the Bat line at that point. We get Batman Streets of Gotham. We get Batman, drawn by initially Judd Winnick.
Which I did not mind the whole Batman Reborn.
I didn't either. We had Judd Winnick and Mark Bagley doing Batman, and then it was Tony Daniel. We had Batman Streets of Gotham, which was Paul Dini and Dustin Nguyen, pretty much picking up Detective Comics. Detective Comics became a Batwoman feature with Greg Rucka and J.H. Williams. I enjoyed it. Check it out. J.H. Williams just won an Eisner Award for it, I believe. Check it out.
Last three, I believe, Cutter.
Cutter with Jock.
Good. Very good.
Cutter with Jock was good. It was 7 issues of J.H. Williams. We had the Elegy arc and then the Origin arc. And then we had a 3-issue arc by Greg Rucka and Jock, who did art on The Losers, which is a decent enough movie. It's enjoyable. Dumb but harmless, as we said. And that was really good. I loved Jock's artwork. I loved him on Green Arrow Year 1 with Andy Diggle. And The Losers with Andy Diggle. So it was good. And like I said, there's a whole shakeup of the Batman line. We got new Batgirl, Red Robin. The Outsiders got a revamp. Wrong Red Robin.
Oh. I'm hungry.
That's fair enough. We'll try to wrap this up in 1 or 2 more segments. But we'll talk about... Anyway, so we come out of those. But Grant Morrison launches a new Batman book.
Right.
Called Batman and Robin, simply. Featuring a short 3-issue arcs that kind of build a larger mythology.
And no George Clooney involved.
No George Clooney involved. None. This kind of makes up for Batman and Robin. But it's Dick Grayson as Batman and Damian Wayne as Robin. And we get...
amazingness.
The first 3 issues are drawn by Frank Quitely, who does fantastic art, whether it be JLA Earth 2, whether it be New X-Men, whether it be We3 or WE3, whether it be The Authority, or All-Star Superman even. Him and Grant Morrison won Eisners for All-Star Superman. Great, fantastic. He kicks us off with the 3-issue arc that's Professor Pig and the Circus of Strange.
Yeah.
And what they did with Batman and Robin that I liked is it added to the mythology, but they were their own stories at the same time.
Yeah,
because Professor Pig was introduced back in 666.
Right.
Batman 666.
And Morrison's he's throwing all these new villains, and they were originally intended to be, these one-shots,
But they're coming back.
And they keep coming back. Professor Pig's come back.
The Flamingo?
Yes.
Oberon Sexton was introduced. Was he introduced Batman and Robin, or did he come on before? I think he was talked about before.
He may have been talked, but it was definitely Batman and Robin.
But you've got new Grant. Again, that whole point. Grant Morrison is building on the mythology.
Mm-hmm.
He is bringing in new characters. Damian Wayne is forever, even if he's never seen again, has left his mark on the Batverse. So we had our 3-issue arc with Frank Quitely, where we had Professor Pig and Scarlet. No, Scarlet. Yes, Scarlet. And the Circus of Strange. And that was a very trippy arc, because Frank Quitely does that best. And it was Grant Morrison. It was a good, almost a pop book in a sense. A whole new kind of mentality that he had.
Yeah, if you combine Batman with Andy Warhol's art with just... God, Grant Morrison, that's all you can say,
And then we followed up Professor Pig and the Circus of Strange with We Wasted No Time. Grant Morrison jumped into the Red Hood with Philip Tan, who came off arcs with... He had a Green Lantern arc with Jeff Johns with the Orange Lanterns. He's doing The Outsiders now. He did some Final Crisis work. He's a guy that got around and did a Batman and Robin arc. He did Revenge of the Red Hood, which took Scarlet from the Circus of Strange and put her in with Jason Todd as the Red Hood, adopting a much more... classic superhero look than Jason Todd wore as Red Hood before. And that was, again, another pretty straightforward arc, but that one brought in the Flamingo and Oberon Sexton. Mm-hmm. It was those arcs where we got those cute characters, and we haven't seen the Flamingo since then. Doctor Who can do anything.
No, he can't. He can't jump in the sky like the Master's doing.
It's because the Master's that cool. The Master's amplified, too. Sorry, Doctor Who tangent. Mm-hmm. But... We get out of Revenge of the Red Hood, and that's when things start to kind of dovetail into the bigger picture.
Right.
We started off with 2 rather self-contained arcs that are collected in one volume, Batman and Robin, Batman Reborn, which is definitely worth checking out. It's out in hardcover Should be coming out in a trade pretty soon. And that's when we jump into Blackest Night with a K, drawn by Cameron Stewart, who did great work on The Invisibles. And some was saying would be a decent choice for this book to start with.
And what I love about this one is the Lazarus Pit.
Yes.
And they finally are like, we need Bruce. We cannot do this without Bruce. Let's get his ass back into the fold.
Well, basically, it picks up that Final Crisis plot thread of Batman's body.
Right.
Dick Grayson, we find out at the end of the Revenge of the Red Hood arc that Dick Grayson has Batman's body. And is going...
Skeleton and cave.
Well, has the body they found. Superman found in Final Crisis.
Right.
And decides that he's going to try to figure out what's going on here. So he takes that to London with Knight and Squire. Damien's not there because Damien's still recovering from the Red Hood arc, isn't he? He had to have surgery on his back.
Yeah, he put a new spine in.
Yeah.
First time that's ever happened.
No foreshadowing there either. And so then we get over to London, and Batwoman ends up playing a part in this, and we find out naturally that the Batman body isn't Batman.
Yeah.
It is one of Darkseid's clones of Batman that doesn't realize it almost. He's kind of almost a weird, almost sad in a way where this clone's trying to be Batman, and it's almost impossible for him to find out that he's not. And it's kind of very sad when he's not. I mean, it becomes very depressing as that Batman returns to Gotham and has a face down with Damian and Alfred. And eventually he's
crippled.
A crippled Damian, no less, who was told that if he moved and fractured that spine, he could be paralyzed forever.
And that's also about the time where Grant's like, I've made you hate him enough, now love him.
Yeah, and that's the thing I like most about Damian is Damian went from a very
child. Yeah,
into a well-developed, dynamic character who really grew into the Robin role. And it's showed even more so in the next arc that followed.
Yeah, yes.
So we come out of Blackest Night. Batwoman has a weird interaction with the people.
Yeah.
Knight and Squire come into play. But the biggest thing to take out of that arc is the body they found. Not only the body that was found in Final Crisis, but the body that was used in Blackest Night. That's the big plot thread there. Is the Blackest Night we saw a Black Lantern Batman. That was not actually Batman. Because everyone assumed it wasn't because it said Bruce Wayne and the guy was like in quotations. It wasn't really him. But nobody knew that. So it was enough to get it serve its purpose in Blackest Night. But after that, that's when Dick took the body. And leading us into this. So we come out of this into the next arc, which will wrap up this segment. And probably for your smoke break. And that starts the arc with Andy Clark on art with Scott Hanna with on inks. And that is the Batman versus Robin arc, which we find that the spine in which Damian had implanted is in fact
ellipses,
a way to control his body.
Oh, no!
So Talia, his mother, what a bitchy mother. This is terrible mother. I mean, seriously.
Some mothers are not due respect.
Seriously, Batman's mother, Damian's mother, and Batman's mother. Batman's mother, coping skills. She never instilled those on her son. Worst mother ever.
Where were the cookies?
Where? Just you teach that son to cope, you're going to save him a lifetime of anguish.
Just think, if Carol Brady had been Carol Wayne.
Oh, God. Don't get me thinking about that. Anyway, in Batman versus Robin, Damian is forced to fight Batman at times. Turns out Deathstroke ends up controlling him to fight Dick, rather. Right. And Oberon Sexton comes in to help. And it spirals fairly quickly from there, but the big things to take out of this one are the Talia-Damian developments, which is the Talia basically expelling him from the League of Assassins, basically telling Damian that he is no longer welcome there and that she is essentially growing his replacement.
Yeah. And
Damian says, fine. And he even looks her right in the face and says, I hope I'm a worthy opponent. And that's when I was just like, fuck yes, Damian. You kicked her ass.
Just grew his nuts. They descended.
The puberty right there. Balls dropped, everything. And then the bigger thing is that Dick Grayson realizes that Oberon Sexton is not everything he says he is. Mm-hmm. And basically, spoiler alert. If you're watching this at this point, you're not going to be spoiled. But the big thing is that Oberon Sexton, as many pegged beforehand, was the Joker. And that, my friends, is going to wrap up this segment. And we will come back to discuss the current developments and the return of Bruce Wayne. And then we will leave you there. Be there.